New program starting at Tampa General Hospital this summer will bring new hope for babies born with rare genetic diseases. It's called the Sunshine Genetics Newborn Screening Program, and it offers free whole genome testing for babies born at TGH.
And Fox 13's Kelly Cowan, she's in our newsroom with a closer, deep look into this. Hey, Cal, fill us in.
Good morning to you. Yeah, this is an incredible program. Every year, millions of babies are born with rare genetic conditions that may not show symptoms until irreversible damage has already begun. So the goal of this program is to identify these diseases before symptoms start, when treatment has the best chance to change a child's life.
Who's a happy baby?
In 2015, Adam and Brienne Anderson welcomed their third child.
And I remember thinking when Andrew was born, our life was absolutely complete. He was born perfectly healthy in every visible way. But when he was probably about 6 months old or so, my wife noticed that he maybe wasn't meeting some of the milestones.
Despite reassurances from their pediatrician,
we started to get really concerned that he wasn't able to sit up like he could originally. He wasn't able to hold his head up how he was. So then we went through a period of time where we received a number of misdiagnoses and did things like cerebral palsy, torticollis.
The Andersons saw numerous specialists before genetic testing finally revealed their son had Tay-Sachs disease, a rare and fatal inherited disorder.
He passed away when he was a little over 4 years old, a few days before Christmas.
For the Andersons, the diagnosis came too late to save their son, but they hope to change that for other families. About 30% of children with a rare disease will die before their 5th birthday, many before they even receive a diagnosis. Researchers say early detection can now dramatically change these statistics.
I am wowed every day with how medicine has advanced.
New breakthroughs in genetic medicine are changing the outlook for diseases once considered untreatable.
In the case of Tay-Sachs disease in particular, there is a gene therapy that got off the ground, and we started working on raising funds while Drew was still alive to help develop this treatment, and it's working. It's showing some tremendous promise, and it's halting progression of the disease, which is true for many of these conditions.
But treatment often depends on how early a disease is found. It's the reason Adam Anderson, who now represents Northern Pinellas County, created the Sunshine Genetics Newborn Screening Program.
It would be unconscionable not to do something like this. We have the ability, we have the resources, we have the technology.
Until recently, the cost of whole genome testing was a significant barrier. A 5-figure price tag often prompted providers to start with cheaper, more limited testing. What once cost tens of thousands of dollars can now be done for a fraction of the price. And some labs can return answers in just days. Starting this summer, Tampa General Hospital will give families the option to have their newborn's entire genetic code sequenced free of charge.
We're going to be able to test for hundreds of conditions.
Anderson says the program will expand Florida's screening for serious disease from 60 conditions to nearly 900.
What is your hope with this program?
My hope for this is that babies born today that potentially have one of these conditions won't have to live that same nightmare of that diagnostic odyssey that I did, and that so many families around the country do every day.
For families facing the uncertainty of a rare disease, answers that once took years could soon come before baby even leaves the hospital.
Tens of millions of dollars are needed for a program like this to even get off the ground. So typically what you see are some federally backed programs that are on a much smaller scale. This is going to be the first of its kind, eventually a statewide program. And while, yes, the cost is going to be significant up front, what Anderson is saying is that this will pay off exponentially for Florida.
Whole genome testing has the power to identify thousands of rare genetic diseases. But until recently, it came at a price many could not afford.
3 years ago or so, when we first started working on some of the rapid whole genome sequencing policy, the cost at that time was as much as about $16,000 to do this testing. Today, this test is a little bit over $1,000.
In other words, the cost to read the more than 3 billion letters that make up our unique genetic code was once on par with searching for a single gene mutation.
If we look back to 2013, to run a single gene, it costs several $1,000s.
That dramatic drop in cost is one of the reasons Florida is now partnering with GeneDx to expand access to whole genome testing for newborns.
Using this testing up front, I think, is one of the reasons why lawmakers in Florida said this is not only better for clinical outcomes and for better health outcomes for children, but it's also a better way to run our health budget as well.
Doctors say early detection is essential.
It can literally change lives.
In many conditions, irreversible damage has already begun by the time symptoms present themselves. Whole genome testing can reduce diagnostic lag time from years to mere days.
On average, it takes about 17 trips to specialists, plus overnight stays in the hospital, sometimes a NICU, just to get to a diagnosis. And many of those are completely unnecessary.
And it may also significantly reduce the massive cost of undiagnosed disease.
The cost per child to be in this diagnostic odyssey that can last 5 to 7 years trying to get answers is over $500,000 per child.
Anderson says earlier detection can help avoid some of the most expensive complications of rare disease, saving parents and taxpayers money.
And if you look at a state like Florida, 50% or more babies born in our state are paid by Medicaid. So we believe this is going to be hundreds of millions, possibly $1 billion in savings when it's rolled out statewide.
Researchers say it could take years to measure the full economic impact of the program, but supporters believe it will pay off in the long run.
That this is really going to really create investment in our state.
By bringing researchers and high-paying biotech jobs to Florida.
When you get the combination of academic medical centers with innovators and investors, I mean, that's when, just amazing things can happen rapidly.
Anderson says his goal is to accelerate new discoveries, treatments, and life-saving interventions.
This does have potential to really be a cost saver, but most importantly, this is a program that will save lives.
Yeah, the whole goal of this program is not just to find the diagnosis earlier, but with the newborn screening program that's about to roll out at TGH this summer, the goal ultimately is to be able to intervene before irreversible damage happens when a child does have a rare disease.
For decades, many families of children with rare genetic diseases have been told there are few, if any, treatment options available. Today, that landscape is changing rapidly.
When I was a resident, children died early in the emergency room or in the hospital, sometimes without a diagnosis. And sometimes I think about them now that we have names and treatments, and I am wowed every day with how medicine has advanced.
Doctors say breakthroughs in medicine are giving families options that didn't exist even just a few years ago.
So now when we identify a case, those babies are brought in within a week or so and start the process of getting gene therapy.
Last year, doctors at Children's Hospital of Philadelphia treated a baby known as KJ with a gene editing technology called CRISPR. The customized therapy was designed to correct a rare life-threatening disorder discovered shortly after he was born. KJ was the very first patient in the world to receive this kind of personalized treatment, and now he's thriving.
We're just glad that he's finally able to be home with us.
Scientists have used this same technology to effectively treat sickle cell disease.
New treatments are coming every day. Some of those are gene therapies. Some of them are finding old medications with new indications once we have identified the protein, the gene, the deficit, trying different medications. But the advancement of research and science in my career has been like amazing.
Researchers say many of these treatments work best before symptoms appear, which is why State Representative Adam Anderson created the Sunshine Genetics Act. It will offer whole genome testing at birth, free of charge.
To not do it, I believe, would be criminal, because we are saving lives with this program.
Anderson has seen this shift in science firsthand.
He was born perfectly healthy in every visible way.
At just 6 months old, his son Andrew began showing signs of Tay-Sachs disease, a fatal genetic disorder.
In the case of Tay-Sachs disease in particular, there is a gene therapy that got off the ground, and we started working on raising funds while Drew was still alive to help develop this treatment, and it's working. It's showing some tremendous promise, and it's halting progression of the disease, which is true for many of these conditions.
Time wasn't on Drew's side, but his father hopes to give that gift to families across Florida.
If we can give parents the option for these types of treatments before their child is symptomatic, instead of just stopping the progression, we can completely prevent this illness or this condition from presenting itself at all. And they live a perfectly normal life in an outright cure before they have symptoms.
And just to really give you a better idea of how big a change this is in our state, we are going to go from a screening program of 60 conditions to nearly 900 at birth.